Moving on to team number 2 in our Pac-12 preview for 2022 and 23 here at SlasherU. And that's a team who many think are going to be the Pac-12 champions in this one. And it's hard to disagree with them, but I will. But not by much. Not by much. I think that they're going to be right in the running the entire time. And that's the UCLA Bruins. I think that this is one of those squads that, they lost some departures from a magical season. They finally got those, departures out of the way. They have some pretty decent key returners, but they have probably some of the most fun freshmen, I think, in the Pac-12. I think that's where, if we're going to put a storyline to every one of those teams, that's the storyline for me. When you ask, welcome them aboard, there's no transfers. This is a team that is a very high favorite, but not a single transfer coming into UCLA. But it revolves around some top 5-star freshmen in Adam Bana and Amari Bailey. And, Bana is a 5-star prospect, McDonald's All-American. I think he is going to be one of the most interesting players in all of Pac-12, not just for freshmen, all of Pac-12 period. A guy from Nigeria, he went to high school in California. Cronin says that, Mick Cronin, head coach of UCLA, said that he is a quick, athletic big man with the best motor he's ever seen as a recruit. That is pretty high praise from Mick Cronin he has ever seen as a recruit. And I've heard other podcasts, other media sources saying if you haven't seen him play, you're missing out. This guy is absolutely electric. 6'9", 225 freshman. That's who I'm really paying attention to. Another one of these squads who lost a pretty decent team or decent amount of people to the NBA. 1, 2, 3 of them heading out to the NBA, one of them going to the Serbia League as well. So, that was a graduate, but you have plenty of people transferring or leaving out. And then obviously the other 5-star, Amari Bailey. And I think he's going to be another one. He's going to be a headliner on this team for years to come. Number 10 overall prospect from 24/7 Sports. Another great quote from Cronin here, said he's a relentless competitor. And that's something you absolutely need in guard play, Steve. And I know, look at that. I said guard play before you did on this show.
I'm so proud of you.
It's rubbing off.
You catch on fast. You catch on fast.
So with that being said, the freshmen are what I'm paying attention on UCLA, but I wouldn't be able to not talk about some of the key returners. With that being said, Tiger Campbell is a guy that I'm paying attention to. And the reason that I'm paying attention to him is because he's, again, one of the best guards and I think one of the most consistent guards, one of the most reliable guards, not just the Pac-12, but in the nation. And what I saw from him last season, if he can continue this on, I think they might put Arizona out of a top spot in the Pac-12. His three-point percentage went from 25% to 41% from the year before. If he can find a way to keep doing that and continue and help that three-point and let this team score points, they're in really good shape. I'm really excited for what I'm seeing from this UCLA team. AP number 8. I'm not the only one, as you can see. Coach's number 7. Torvik's got him number 9. And like I said, Ken Palm's got him second in the Pac-12, but they're right behind Arizona at number 11. So, I mean, it's that close. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see all season. It's going to be that close between these two squads. What's your thoughts on the Bruins?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Campbell. He's been all Pac-12 the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned his three-point percentage going up. It's not only that more balls were going, hit the, going through the net there. He's not hesitating. Sometimes guys, when they're taking that three, and it's only a split second, but you can see that maybe they're not as confident shooting from that distance. For him, it's, off the bounce, boom, up, swish. That says a lot about a player who has that confidence in that shot. It's one thing to get better. I think players eventually do get better, unless you're Ben Simmons. You get better, shooting the ball. Campbell just last year it was like watching a different player. Before, Campbell was always distribution, just tenacious defense. But last year, you knew that if he had his shot for a three, boom, he didn't even hesitate to make that shot. Amari Bailey might be the most talked about UCLA recruit in what seems like forever.
I'd agree with that.
And UCLA has been through so much. I mean, even like with Mick Cronin, the COVID year, and there's been all kind of injuries. I mean, Jazzquez, he played all year, but he wasn't the same guy. He literally hobbled through the NCAA tournament, and it affected his effectiveness from behind the 3-point arc. But, it seems if something could go wrong, it was going wrong for UCLA. Even their tournament draws, for a team that with that kind of quality, you would think that they would get a better break. And the committees just seem to just give them a bad draw. So UCLA absolutely has the talent. And the kid that you were talking about, Bona, not only was he from Nigeria originally, but again, he played internationally in Turkey before his family then came to the States. And now he's playing big time college basketball. Another guy, okay, he's, age wise, he's young, but experience wise, it's well beyond 99% of the freshmen, even the best McDonald All-American freshman coming in that you can have. So I think it's all going to boil that if Jazzquez stays healthy and he can kind of find his outside game again. And I really think it was more injury than anything else, especially with the ankle injury he had. That's tough to hit your jumper on a regular basis because your body realizes that when you land after taking that jumper, you're going to have some pain. So eventually you don't even notice it's happening. It throws you off a little bit. So you have that. You've got Bailey. You have complementary talent up and down the roster. I think Cronin, like you said, Cronin's going to keep them in the conversation against Arizona all year long. I mean, we're both just so high on Arizona. That does not mean that UCLA is just an also ran.
Okay, no, I'm also high on UCLA. I just give this the inch to Arizona.
Exactly. And that's the thing with the Pac-12, the more you look into it, and I just watched the media days interviews and in the previews yesterday. The Pac-12 is a lot deeper and a lot more competitive than people. I mean, everybody's talking Arizona, everybody's talking UCLA. You have some folks mentioning Oregon and USC, but not as enthusiastically as Arizona and UCLA. This conference, Washington State, Colorado, there's a lot of teams in this conference. They're going to cause problems for any opponent, not only just in the conference, but we're playing out of conference as well. It's only going to make these teams better come conference tournament time and come NCAA tournament time. And I think you're going to see a lot more Pac-12 teams, not only ranked throughout the year, you're going to see them go into the second weekend of the tournament.
To finish off my thoughts on UCLA, first of all, I think both UCLA and Arizona are going to be top 3 or 4 seeds in the tournament once comes March. Like, I do think so high on both these teams. They have a pretty decent schedule for November. They do see Illinois in the main event. That's going to be a really interesting game around Thanksgiving time. And then they head into Pac-12 against Oregon, and we'll see them against Stanford early in December. And then the CBS Sports Classic against Kentucky a week before Christmas is going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that one. Speaking of Bona, he's a big guy, 6'9". How is he going to do against some of these super seniors, right? We got a freshman who's supposed to take, the scoring capabilities down low. I think that there's honestly with UCLA, I think 1 through 4 will be able to handle the scoring if this doesn't work out for Bona initially right off the bat, if he has to have some growing pains. But we're in a scenario right now where we've really only seen it kind of last year, but where we're seeing freshmen against super seniors, 5th year, 6th year seniors, especially a guy coming back from, that should have went to the NBA draft, like, Drew Time. I wonder how that'll affect Adam Bona and how that'll affect guys like that with their play, if they'll be able to, I don't necessarily want to say the word keep up, but be able to compete adequately against guys like that.
Well, I think too, Cronin's the kind of coach that's not going to let a kid lose confidence. I mean, if he has to scale back minutes, especially against there's going to be some teams in the Pac-12 specifically that are going to be big up front. So at 6'9", okay, maybe he might be out muscled, so maybe you cut back minutes against certain teams, but it doesn't mean you put him on the bench. I think Cronin's the kind of guy that knows how to pick and choose moments for his younger players. That's why I'm so excited to watch Bailey. Anytime UCLA is on, I'm going to watch the game live. I mean, I don't care how many pots of coffee I have to pour. I want to watch this kid because I just think it's going to be just fun to watch him develop.
Slasher Sports Twitter is about to be all over that hashtag Pac-12 after dark. I'm telling you what. And pots of coffee. I mean, you're over there drinking cold brew. Come on, you'll be all right. You're good. Just gotta set up that cold brew. Make sure it's good to go.